which is Captain America, A Brave New World. I'm going to read a quick synopsis. Don't know why I got rid of it just now. That kind of just gives us an insight of what the movie's about, and then we're going to get into it. So the synopsis says, Captain America, A Brave New World follows Sam Wilson as he navigates political intrigue after Thaddeus, they said Thunderbolt in quotes, Ross, becomes US president. Ross seeks to control adamantium found on the, how do you say that island? Celestial Island, leading to global tensions. Meanwhile, the leader, Samuel Stern, manipulates events using mind control to ignite chaos. Ross ultimately transforms into Red Hulk, leading to a showdown with Wilson in Washington, D.C. The film explores power struggles, leadership, and political conflicts, featuring the returning MCU characters like Betty Ross and Isaiah Bradley. So, that was a synopsis. We are going to be talking about the film, and it is going to contain spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the film already, then pause this, come back when you've seen it, and let us know what you think. But if you have seen the film and you're ready to listen, take it away, Ash.
Take it away, Ash.
Yeah.
Okay.
First question on this, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, let me just be truthful with you guys. Yeah. I
fell
asleep.
Gosh.
Okay. So if we're talking about percentages, I've watched probably up to the 45% mark of the film. Fell asleep up to about the 65th percent of the film, and I finished out the final parts of the film. So that 20% in the middle, there's a bit of holes. So you guys might have to fill me in on the holes, because I'm going to say certain things and it makes sense, but you might say that was answered when I was asleep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you would lie to me sometimes, honestly.
No, I had to be truthful. I had to be truthful because you would have caught me out. She would have caught me out.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd be like, why are you not mentioning this? Because I'm
100%.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I heard from the film, I heard that it got like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, oh no, not.
Did you check before you actually went?
No, I was looking for film times. I was booking my tickets, and then I saw 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, oh gosh, like.
Do you know what I do
was
now?
hoping for
I
the best.
search the venue, and so I know the venue I want to go to, and then I just say tickets, and that stops that Rotten Tomatoes thing or IMDb thing from popping up, because it's ruined it for me so many times where I've seen a rating and I'm just like, I wanted to come into it neutral. I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to have anything in the back of my mind, and it's ruined it for me a couple of times.
That's the TR,
So I just write,
That's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to go on opening night, which was Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I was also going to go by myself. It wasn't...
Did you go on opening night then? No, you didn't.
No, I ended up going at 11 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I didn't fall asleep as well.
Maybe I should have done that.
Honestly. But, so yeah, and I couldn't find anywhere on Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's when I ended up Googling. So yeah, I saw 50%. I was like, oh gosh. So I went into the film with like massively low expectations. I already had low expectations because Marvel's not been doing too well. We're in like a superhero fatigue type era. And I was, do you know what? I didn't think it was that bad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
good.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that bad. The way,
bad.
like, the site interrupted, but the way the critics, online on social medias were talking, I was thinking, damn, this could be so long. This could be so long. And when I came out of cinema, I was like, man, it's not even that bad. I was like, I hear it.
Yeah,
I
you
hear
can see
it.
the issues
I can
with
see
it,
the issues, but man,
it's not. It's overly exaggerated how
definitely
bad
is.
how bad it was. To be fair, have any of you seen the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney?
I've seen bits of it.
I started it and it just wasn't. It wasn't good like that, and that really starts off all the problems with Marvel, like pumping out loads of content.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was gonna say to you guys. Like, how are you feeling about it? Because I think what they in phase 5 or something.
This film was definitely part of them long lines of films where they've just been doing quantity over quality.
Yeah,
that's literally what happened.
And I think they're making these little mini series. I think a lot of them, when I'm looking at it, it's after Endgame.
Yeah.
So you had the Loki one, you had this one, and there was another one. I think it was, what's that? WandaVision?
WandaVision. There was like 10 different series. And that was like part of the problem, is that you do feel like as a viewer, do I need to have watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier to go to this one? Do I need to have watched WandaVision to go to that other one, Doctor Strange?
And it's too much watching.
It's too much.
Sometimes
content.
I just want to go to the cinema.
Just go on YouTube, type a recap.
Exactly, and that's it, just to refresh my.
Yeah,
but when I'm thinking, there's this, there's that. But I'm somebody who likes to pay attention to these little key details, because sometimes these little key details make sense to when you actually get the bigger picture. So I don't like missing anything, but there was no way I was going to watch that Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And
I was not
you
doing
shouldn't
that.
have either. I
No, I
heard
didn't.
it was
I
terribly
mean, honestly, just to sum it up, essentially, because you know how at the end of Endgame, you got given the shield, given the shield, right? At the start of it, he basically gives up the shield, gives it back to the government, and the government ends up giving it to another guy. I can't remember his name.
John
but he
Walker.
ends up killing someone in front of live cameras, and so obviously Sam Wilson has seen that. Winter Soldier have seen it. So then obviously
can't be
Sam
Captain
Wilson
America.
basically said, yeah, like I want to be Captain America again, more or less. And they tried to get it
They
back,
say nah.
and they got it back.
Oh, they got it back.
They got it back,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
that's why when I saw the opening scene as well, I liked the way he was just like, when I was seeing that fight, and I said, yeah, this is Captain America. I saw the arrogance, I saw the strength, calculated. He knew exactly what he was trying to do.
Whilst you just said that, you
Yeah.
said, wow, this is Captain America. I'm so sorry. I'm never gonna accept this guy as Captain America.
Oh,
I feel like it has to
I'm
be a
so sorry.
transition, innit? I feel like it has to.
do you know what?
Transition
But
period.
I feel like
My
had
Captain America is Steve Rogers.
I feel like this movie was the perfect opportunity, and cut out the Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff. I feel like this was a perfect opportunity for Sam Wilson to kind of struggle with filling the shoes of Steve Rogers, and also, like, I don't know, a lot of people don't like to speak about race. Marvel definitely doesn't like to speak about race, but the idea
But
of
they're
having
trying to at the
they're
same time.
trying to, and they're not doing it very well. But this idea of having a black Captain America and the implications of that, I thought it was like the perfect setting for a really like compelling story about filling Steve Rogers' boots whilst not having the super serum. This is all quite interesting stuff. That's not what they gave us, but the movie wasn't as bad as everyone's saying. However, it would have been not fantastic. It would have been a really solid, good movie about 10 years ago when those kind of movies were being made. But we're just out of that era. We want something new, imaginative. Yeah.
I just didn't like the fact that this film, it felt like it was carrying like two stories. It was carrying on some stuff from, I think it was the 2008 Hulk.
Yeah.
And then
That I didn't really pick up.
do you know what I mean? I just felt like, I was like, why are they doing this? Like, why are we seeing the Red Hulk now? And even when we saw the Red Hulk,
I was dead.
you saw him for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was dead.
For like 5 minutes. I said, you made me wait all this time for a man to do 5 minutes, and you're telling me he won the fight because the man spoke to him.
I was gonna get
my
there.
days.
I was
My
gonna get
days.
there. I was gonna get there because the way they sold it to us. If you saw the poster, am I not seeing Red Hulk?
Yeah.
Am I
bruv,
not thinking within the first
like-
10, 15 minutes we're gonna find out why there is a Red Hulk? Why is it like when I wake up from a nap, Red Hulk is not even activated yet? It's literally towards the last 10 minutes.
I genuinely couldn't believe it. I was just like, I can't believe this. Even I was explaining this to one of my boys, innit? Like, with that, the fight scene, cool. Like, fair enough, yeah. It was too short in my opinion, innit? But they could have done so much more with that fight scene. You got the new Captain America, and you got the Red Hulk. And obviously, I don't know if you don't know Red Hulk's weakness. Like, the angrier he gets, like, obviously he heats up more, and eventually that can kill him. So I wasn't saying that. I was saying to someone that he doesn't have to die in this film, innit? But it would have been nice if they had an epic battle to the point where he's raging to the point where it's like, yeah, like he could die, innit? But let's say like ultimately Captain America obviously getting back to his normal form.
Yeah.
Like something like that would have been a nice way to end off the film, in my opinion.
But he just calms down.
Yeah,
and
it's just
they end
like,
up putting him in that
this is
prison.
it. It's like, bruv, like,
So would you say the story was like well like structured, or like what would you say about the actual story itself? Because
I don't know.
I didn't know what to make of it. From
was
the point that
just-
I fell asleep, I was thinking maybe I've missed a bit of key bits for it not to like make sense. Why it's not making sense to me. But it started off with learning about obviously I think the Isaiah guy was the first time I actually thought, okay, what's going on here? And he said he was a super soldier.
He
at
was the
time,
first. He was
and
basically like the first.
I was
black
like, okay, this
Captain America, yeah.
type of stuff is it's getting my attention. But when he went off on the, you got the mind control, and then
Oh man, that made me laugh.
yeah, it did.
Oh,
when I saw
It
him
lost all
running,
seriousness for
when
me.
he was running, yeah, I said, "There's no way."
It
This
was
man is
no,
running like
but it was
this.
the fact that in one scene he was running at like 100 miles an hour. In the other scene, when it was actually him and this like
Yeah.
older man, he's running at like what 15, 10, 20 miles an hour. It
And
was-
Conor
yeah.
could barely run, but it's just one of those ones where I was intrigued up to that point, and then after that, it just got a bit. I'm not sure if I'm feeling this after it. When he was obviously captured, detained, they said something about he's gonna be put on the death penalty or something like that. And to be fair, obviously I've done politics. I look into America. You only get the death penalty when you kill the president. He didn't kill the president. He attempted to kill the president. So it should have been a life sentence. But these little things that shouldn't matter to me. Yeah. And I was just like, why they he wouldn't get the death penalty for that. It just a lot of things from that point. That's when I just started picking up issues with it where there might have not been issues, but even some of the fight scenes with Sam Wilson, I'm just like, why? Well, you're not Spider-Man. Why are you doing a lot of talking here? Like,
just talk, bro,
within the fight, like normal Marvels. Like even when I was going back to watching the first Winter Soldier or Winter Soldier, which was the second one, Captain America film,
Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier. Even when I was seeing the fight scenes, that was actually cold. Like seeing Captain America and Bucky fight, there was one of the scenes where they're fighting in the street. I'm like, wow, this is actually really good. I'm someone who doesn't really like the fight scenes, and but I thought that was actually really good. We get to this film now, and it suits Spider-Man when Spider-Man's fighting and he's talking and he's being cocky and all of that. It suits him because it's a young teenager sort of guy. It's immature. But when he's doing it as Falcon, all right, and doing these little phrases, and I'm just like, mate, turn the TV off. I'm just like, I'm not interested. But yeah, that's where it lost me. But
no, I hear it. I mean, there was some bits I liked the humor between Isaiah Bradley and Sam Wilson. I mean, it wasn't long, probably like 5 minutes in total, but like when they had the little interaction with that, it did make me laugh, like chuckle a little bit. I did like that. That's a little small positive.
How did you feel of who was the Joaquin Torres?
Oh no! Before we get on to that, bro, did anyone catch that line about when President Ross said to him,
"Son"?
But President Ross said to Captain America, "Oh, I want you to bring back the Avengers."
Yeah.
What did you make of that?
I thought, how's he gonna do that?
Because apparently Captain America is going to lead the next Avengers.
Yeah, I just was thinking major problem with Marvel, like who is going to be a part of these Avengers? You got Shang-Chi, he was all right. Spider-Man, he's a young guy, but
he most likely will be.
Doctor Strange, yeah, fair enough. Ant-Man, let's be so for real.
Yeah.
And Captain America.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not giving what phase 1, 2 and 3 gave. There's no real leader there. Yeah.
No, not at all.
I wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, no. And I wouldn't imagine. That's the first thing that I thought. I'm not a Marvel fan, but what you just said, who's going to be part of that? I was just like, it's not really making sense or being a bit appealing to me on who would actually be part of, that Avengers squad. And I even thought half of them is Shang-Chi alive? And all these guys, are they alive? Or are they part of the other world?
Still alive.
They're
alive.
Okay.
They're alive.
They're not part of the people that disappeared, no? Because he's not fighting alongside any superheroes at the moment. So who's he bringing together? What multiverse are we in? I'm confused.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out, innit? There's so many. But obviously, he's definitely gonna be in charge because you know how you have. Is it Miss Marvel, the young Marvel? I can't remember.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, like she's gonna be one of them as well.
Do you reckon the Fantastic Four will be part of them?
Yes, they will.
I'm excited for that film.
I don't know. I'm excited, but I heard that was set.
You're gonna see in Fantastic Four, the first steps. You're gonna see. We're gonna see Galactus in there. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
Listen,
do you read the comics? Do you not read the comics or watching the videos about it? You see how you fought Thor? Also Thor. What's his name? Brain's gone blank. The purple brother. Thanos.
Oh,
that's it. You see Thanos, right? You think he's a bad villain. Wait until you see Galactus, bro.
There's someone coming that's worse.
Galactus is going to be worse. I don't know if you caught it in the end credits where he said, "Oh, like you think this is the only world? Like there's others coming."
That was so poor, by the way.
Do you not get it? Do you understand it though?
I don't understand it because there's many other multiverses. Like we've established that.
But do you get it though?
No. And I also don't care. They've been teasing this like for like about 5 years now. And first of all, we had Kang, and obviously that didn't work out. But they've been teasing this like big threat and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm bored now.
This time, now obviously it might be a bit late for you, lot, innit? But it is an incursion. So essentially, it's going to be 2 universes. So, but only one can survive. So it's going to be obviously the Marvels and the X-Men.
Ah.
Oh, you see that? Because look,
That's
because you
what
not
it
understand, because obviously look at Deadpool and Wolverine. They're in that X-Men universe.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah.
That's the incursion, bro.
Okay.
That's the incursion.
But still, I agree with what Ash said. The way it was like projected to us, then he wasn't telling us anything that we haven't heard before. They've been teasing that stuff for a while now. So this is a revelation.
This is one of the ones that, do you know what it is?
listening.
For like the last like 2 weeks, I can't lie to you. I've been on YouTube. You can go on my history. The amount of the amount of shorts that I've been watching, the amount of like videos I've been watching in relation to like just the Marvel story, but my brain's on fire, man.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, I'm ready for Doomsday, bro.
But we waited too long. Those end
you have to blame
Got those end credits to even get that. What was that? Where was the first end credits? And then they do like a second one after.
There was only one.
There was only one, and it was so long.
It was only one. It was just Captain America and Stern talking.
But
that
it was so
pretty much
long.
it. But see, it was just a case of, because Captain America don't know this yet, innit? But obviously, if you've read the information that I've read, for example, like you understand, you can put together the pieces of what he's saying. Essentially, the incursion. Okay. That's the main thing, innit? And Doctor Doom, and obviously Doomsday. Doctor Doom is basically he's a variant of Tony Stark.
Oh.
Yeah, they released that at Comic-Con.
He's a variant, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you not remember when the end credits used to tell you like something? Used to tell you, like,
just
give
didn't
you
say
a
anything.
little
Like,
something.
you've done your digging and found that.
Yeah, I had to.
You've done your digging,
Had to.
but they used to show, like, I remember the Iron Man, they showed Thor's hammer in the end, so you knew that like Thor was coming and that was going to be the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the end credits. I was actually annoyed. I made my siblings, I made them like stick around, and they again didn't want to speak to me on the journey home because I made them stay in the cinema for like extra.
Yeah, that one. I think even when it finished, people were like, "Boo!"
Yeah, it was for once like.
Is that it? You heard? Is that it?
Like, I could feel the vibe like in the cinema. It wasn't the best.
Nah.
I could tell people weren't really impressed, because apparently there was a lot of like recuts, reshoots with this film in it.
Really?
Yeah, from what I was hearing.
Worth.
Yeah, like so many. They had to reshoot so many scenes.
Why?
I don't know, because this was getting filmed pre-COVID.
Yeah,
And
it was
then-
something like. I don't know if it was. I don't know.
Maybe
I
that's too
have no
far,
idea, but they. Yeah, I think the initial like viewings just wasn't positive, so they had to do like a year's worth of reshoots. I think Giancarlo Esposito, Gus from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I said his name right, and I'm quite proud of
Ten
myself. Sorry.
Ten Hag.
What?
Did you say Ten Hag?
She just said Breaking Bad, so I thought the bold.
Oh, you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I know
Corey
what you're talking
Bates,
about.
Don't worry.
I said Ten Hag.
I don't think, quote me if I'm wrong, I don't think he was in the original movie at all, and he came in the reshoots. That's why he's in the beginning, middle sort of thing. He was never even a part of the cast. Did you hear that as well? 'Cause
I
feel like I'm making
heard
that up.
something like that, and he's like, bro, what was he actually doing in the film? Like he was actually just on like nothing.
They just didn't think there was enough violence, enough like intrigue there. So they
You
had
mentioned
to add to
Thanos.
it
We
more.
talked about villains.
I mean, it
What-
would like see when they're saying stuff like that, yeah. Like, see, for example, when Ross went to Japan to try to talk, and you see how he said, "Oh, like my intelligence is telling me this and that." See, then and then turn him into the Hulk.
Yeah.
Turn him into let him get vexed. Turn him into the Hulk. Let him do a madness, and then you've got a crazy war.
Yeah,
in
you got a
the US.
story. Yeah.
Then you got another story, and it's just something to have people like engaged. You
What
know I
provoked
mean?
him again?
What to turn into the Hulk?
It was the press conference, but I
It was
can't
the press
remember what was
conference.
being
It's
said.
because the allegations about the treaty came out.
And people are finding out about how
him,
he
Stern as well.
Him and Stern, yeah. What did you think of Stern?
I don't know, I hate bars, man.
I was creeped out a little bit.
Like,
Like,
his bars,
yeah.
like, kind of failed Hulk guy is this. Are you telling me he can see all these possibilities? He come like he's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, basically.
That's literally the vibe I got from this guy. Like, you can predict what people do before they do it.
Yeah, but that's why Ross was using him, innit?
Yeah, Ross was using him, but then, yeah, man, it's just silly though. Because it's like, if you have that kind of ability, like, why you just...
So who was the villain, Ross or Stern?
I think it was Stern. It was Stern, but Stern was using Ross, innit?
Stern, but I can see where
Ross
like
was using Stern?
They were using each other, essentially.
I don't even know.
Like Ross was using Stern
To
help him
to win
get
the election and
win the election, all that stuff there, and obviously, he promised Stern his freedom, innit? He didn't do it. So now Stern just had this vendetta against him that I'm going to make your life hell,
Yeah.
essentially. And that's why obviously he was
Giving them
these pills which had a lot of was it like gamma radiation in them or something like that. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm like, bro, that's a dead get back, man.
I want to watch the original Incredible Hulk because that came out 2008. I don't think I've watched it a couple of times, but I was young. I didn't really pay attention to what's going on. But because we've briefly seen Red Hulk and just a lot of things are not making sense, I just want to probably go back to it and see what it was saying, to be fair.
Yeah.
But this is a film, it did at least try and bring the films together how like Phase 1 to Phase 3 used to bring all these films together. I did finally address, did you guys watch The Eternals?
Yes.
And at the end of Eternals,
The
this
Celestials.
massive
The Celestial,
like
you see that Celestial? That's
Oh,
the-
yeah,
body shoots
yeah.
up out of the sea, and that's been there for like 4 years, and no other film has addressed it.
And that's
whatsoever.
what they adamantium.
That's the
Adamantium,
adamantium thing, yeah. So I'm glad they tried to at least try to mend the MCU as much as they could. I expected a bit better from. We reviewed Deadpool, and like Deadpool had all of these jokes about how the MCU's fallen off a cliff. I thought it would be a much better like correction movie where they've accepted their mistakes, etc., and they're trying to get back to the original formula, which I think they did. They got
tried.
back to the
Yes.
original formula,
Yeah.
but we're also so past the movies from 10 years ago. We're
Yeah.
so past that now. We need something
A bit
original.
more to kind of,
I'm telling you, Fantastic Four's the one that can save it, man.
I really
They're
hope.
the one that can save it because that's the one that's been, in the archives for years.
So, you saying we're excited about that one?
I feel like Fantastic Four, I feel like that
Are
one.
you saying that we got to bring that one to the
We gotta
podcast?
bring that one to the podcast. We have to.
Okay.
We have to, man. We gotta watch. We gotta bring every single film up to Doomsday, Secret Wars.
Don't
we gotta
push
bring it.
Lydia.
We gotta
Don't-
bring
No,
it.
but to be fair, yeah. As much as I'm about to ask you this question about, just Sam Wilson and everything, even though I'm not respecting it, he is the first person to make me actually go back and actually take Marvel seriously. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing that. I don't know if it's just convenient and it's a coincidence that it's him, but I've actually gone back and actually started looking and digging into Marvel and thinking, wow, this stuff was actually interesting. I was actually missing out. So credit to him. But like what you were saying at the start, would he be the actual face of,
I feel like he would get some.
The Avengers.
You gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to it, man. Like he has to do like some mad stuff, like the things that Captain America did. Like he has to do it on. But obviously, he has to take that damn serum, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He has to take that serum because ain't no way the way you are, bro. The Hulk was gonna lick you down, bro.
Lick you
if
down.
if it wasn't for your words.
But that's what I'm saying. It's, for me, that's what even ruined some of the fight scenes, because you're supposed to be a superhero and you're not a superhero.
Yeah, just
I
a man in a
liked
suit, innit?
that element of him not having taken the super serum, him actually being a human being, and then they touched on it at the end, him being a human being that just never gives up. I liked a bit of a difference between him and Steve Rogers. I feel like there need to be that comparison there, sort of thing. We're always going to compare them anyway. So for him to be a better superhero, him not taking the super serum actually kind of makes him a better superhero in a way, morally or whatever. However,
Makes him one
it
of the
did affect
the weaker,
the combat scenes. Did you not feel like he had a lot of like too much armor? Like
Yeah, but he needs it though.
He needs
it though
it.
because he ain't them wings on his back, man. Oh my
he
days.
needs it, but then that's a cool thing. Like Captain America, like Steve Rogers could never fly, and he's the wings, the Falcon. That's all kind of.
So that's what I'm
it's
saying.
It's
Because of the whole,
just more of a
because of the
modern
whole
Captain America,
flying
innit?
thing, to me, he's just going to be Falcon, and he's never going to move. I know they've tried to make this Joaquin Torres guy, obviously a new Falcon, stuff like that. But as far as I'm concerned, Sam Wilson will always be
I feel
Falcon.
like eventually they might remove the wings, might give him a new suit.
Maybe.
I feel like they probably need to do that because that's man. Them wings need to go.
And I think there might be something that he would have to take that serum.
Yeah, eventually, no, he has to because
'Cause I ain't buying
when this incursion comes, you think you are being the X-Men with just that short alone, my
Yeah,
brother.
no.
My
You
brother,
need-
let
you
me
need
tell you
something.
something.
You need
There's no way.
something. So, yeah, you set to them as Captain America?
I mean, I was impressed with the fight scenes apart from the last fight scene with Hulk.
Hulk,
and that.
yeah.
So I pretty much liked. It gave me the vibe that this is Captain America. He's fully embracing the role. So I can accept it, innit?
Ash?
I think he done a really good job. I feel like the issues with the movie, it just wasn't him.
Yeah.
I think
Fair
he's done a
enough.
good job. I think he did what he could do. We are so used to having such a charismatic Chris Evans, and I think Anthony Mackie is charismatic as well. But
not in that way for me.
maybe
Sorry.
just not. Maybe they should have ended the Captain America arc with Chris Evans, Steve Rogers,
And maybe a new superhero entirely.
new superhero entirely, or Falcon just continues his journey in a whole
Like the
different
movie
way.
would have
Do
been
you
called
think
The
they probably
Falcon.
should've
Like that would have been
They
called.
probably should have just kept the name, innit?
Yeah,
You
The
feel like
Falcon,
You
that
feel
would've
like,
been
you feel like
cold.
it's the name that's bothering a lot
It's
of people.
bothering me. This is not Captain America. It's bothering me. Like you're right. He's not done anything wrong at all. But I just get attached to like names, and when superheroes are like, you're a superhero, yeah, and your name is your identity. Your name is your brand. Like you don't just go about changing the guys. Oh yeah, this is the new Superman, the new Batman. Like, why did they do that? They don't.
The only thing I would say is that obviously you see Chris Evans, that's our generation of Captain America. So you see with Sam Wilson, it's going to be for the younger gen.
Is it? I feel like it's still ours, but
I think the younger gen will be more open to accepting him in comparison to us, in my opinion. Because us, we're just so used to the original Avengers, and it's like all these new people, like, who are you?
It's a good
Do you know what I mean?
perspective, but I
That's
would
pretty
want to.
much it. It's like, we're not
to
used to change, innit?
I would want to. That's a unique thing to do, to see the perspective from like obviously the younger generation. Like I literally want to see what they would say about that. Like when they see Sam Wilson's face, like Anthony Mackie's face, do they say, "Oh, that's Captain America"? Do they do that? I don't know. That's something that I would.
I mean, even
want
in
to
the film, he said, I think there was a line he said, he's still getting used to this being called Captain America. So even for him, like, because you can see in the film, he's still like conflicted a little bit in terms of like, if he's working for the right people and whatnot, if he really should be Captain America. He still has that moment.
What did you think about when Ross said, "You're not Steve Rogers"?
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard that, bro, the whole cinema went quiet. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was a
As
slap
they
in the
should
face.
be.
Was that
no
racism?
one should be talking anyway.
You know, I don't know. It wasn't.
Was it? I don't know if that was racism.
No, it wasn't racism.
My mind always goes there.
It started looking like reminding me of that Saul Campbell meme.
Yeah. It's a black thing.
No, I don't think it was racism. I just think because Captain America achieved so much, it's just like this is literally what you're up against, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, because obviously Chris Evans, he has the respect of everyone already.
Yeah.
It's just like he has to prove himself. So he has to do something mad in one of the upcoming films, whichever one he's in. He has to do something crazy to show that he's really Captain America.
I can take this
But
on.
Yeah.
That's
Until then,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say just until then, it's just gonna be people just are not really gonna be accepting of him at the moment, isn't it?
But that's the compelling story we needed. And like I said, lean into the race talk, because that's the two things that make it different. How do we really think America, I know this is not real life America, would be so accepting of a black
You know what? I hate
Captain
that.
America
That would have been nice. Imagine
who's-
like the public just like revolting in that.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just more interesting. There's more to prove. Whereas this, it just felt like he was just Captain America and everyone's fine with it. Who had a better compelling arc? Ross, Red Hulk. Ross, what's his name? Thaddeus Ross. He had the more interesting storyline of the whole movie. He actually had the more interesting arc.
He was on
Yeah,
some-
and
he
you
was on
would
some stuff.
want that to be Captain America to have
Yeah.
been interesting because it's his film, that sort of thing. I know, like we said, obviously they had a picture of Hulk on the poster, and obviously
he was the
Thaddeus
main
Ross ended up
attraction,
being,
innit? Yeah.
so that character arc, I did think it was like a whole, not 360, but you could see his character go through like the changes. Like you were trying to understand, where is this character coming from and where is he taking us? Like, what's the actual idea behind this all? With Captain America, you didn't really get that. It was very kind of basic. They didn't really tell the story, but maybe they think they've told the story already.
Yeah, you got to watch the series in the
in the
that's pretty much
series.
it, yeah.
Maybe that's why they didn't obviously go into it as much. But
I saw some people say that Winter Soldier, I can't even say that. Winter Soldier should have been the Captain America. That's what some people were saying. Have you seen
Bucky
that?
Barnes,
Bucky,
yeah. I could see that more so, and honestly, maybe it is just a race thing. I can see it more so. However, he's a war criminal, which also begs the question: why is he now a politician? He's
punishment.
literally a war criminal.
Remember he got brainwashed, didn't it?
Yeah,
remember he got
that wasn't
brainwashed, so he
his
can't.
fault,
It's not
wasn't
really
it?
his fault. Yeah,
Can
remember
you
they thought he
imagine?
died and that, but he got captured by the Soviet Union. Something
and
like that.
plus, the people that he was around, like half the world had disappeared by then. So it's like, it's just,
Either
anyone can be
way,
anyone.
Can you imagine your local councillor? I don't want to say her name. Our Brent councillor.
You don't back.
Yeah, I don't want to say her name. Can you imagine she's like killed? Gosh,
Let's say
weird territory.
hypothetically.
But hypothetically, she's killed a bunch of people, but she's still allowed to run for our councillor, and she's a war criminal.
Tony Blair.
Anyway, this is muggy territory.
No, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but for me, it was just more of, I'm fair enough. What did you say?
Anyway, I'm moving away from that. I don't want to get arrested. Harrison Ford, the guy's 82.
Is he?
Yeah,
Wow.
and he's like, what was he in Indiana Jones? He's like a proper legend.
Kudos to him, because I could never tell. I thought this man's in his 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
latest
60s, yeah.
80s. That's crazy.
Crazy.
He's looking good for 80.
He done well, to be fair. I think all the actors done well as best as they could have. I think it's more of the story, being disappointed at the story rather than the acting. And we said that many times on our podcast, where we look at the actual acting and I'm like, they did what they could. We talk about the Joker, what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix. He did what he could, but overall that movie was dead. There's so many movies that we've looked at that said they've actually acted as best as they could reading that script, but that script actually wasn't good. I'm not saying the script was not good, but the story could have been a bit more deeper. And I'm not even like a Marvel fan to even be requesting that, but you guys seem to obviously agree that we could have had more layers to it. But I guess this might be the baseline anyway, like you said, for further
that's
movies.
literally what it is. Yeah, it was carrying the law, just trying to finish off a lot of like story from previous films.
Yeah,
that's basically what
and like
doing.
Ash said, if this was a film of 10 years ago, it might have gone on under the radar as decent film. But I think now, because there's so much scrutiny on Marvel, the MCU, what they're putting out, everything is just going to be criticized no matter what is actually put out. Unless it's like a 10 out of 10, it probably will be criticized, to be fair. But I'm happy with the actors. What do you think overall about the cinematography and the obviously action scenes?
Yeah, I thought they were good. I liked, as usual. It was weird seeing like Sam Wilson just flying in the air like that.
What do you think about Red Hulk flying about?
Flying about.
Could the original Hulk fly about?
Not like flying in, but he
jumping.
can jump like really long.
He was going places.
There's that one scene where he jumped in it. Yeah, he was moving mad. I can't lie.
I was like, what?
But yeah, no, he's mad powerful, man.
Because I didn't see the original Hulk do this against Thanos. I
You see that, bro? There was a time when Asgard was getting mashed up, bro. The Hulk literally grabbed Thor and someone else, and he just jumped, bro.
I ain't seen it.
He just jumped and he went somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know where he went, but he
Maybe that's the
saved
thing.
them.
Because I was just thinking, it's almost like he's flying. Like, he's just jumping and flying. But yeah, no. But I also did enjoy the cinematography. I think the only thing for me, like I said, was the fight scenes where...
There was some scenes that looked a bit... I don't know if the CGI looked a bit weird. I don't know if it was just me, but it looked like...
Apparently there was like a green screen or something.
Yeah, it looked like
that.
I could tell, it looked blurry and I could
I
tell
think
like...
that was the reshoots.
Yeah, like there was when like that last fight scene, for example, when it went on to Captain America, it's like the screen just looked a bit... I was like, right, I could tell that don't look right, but kind of looked glossed over it, innit?
I thought it was good combat.
So do you think post Steve Rogers now, if they were to do another Captain America film, like, it will thrive?
He's not dead, right?
He is. As far as I'm concerned.
He when Endgame happened, he travelled back to the 1940s to obviously be with his wife.
Did he travel back? I thought
He travelled back, but then obviously this old one now.
He travelled back and came forth. So when he came forth, I thought he died.
No, he's still alive, bro.
Still alive, but Marvel need to know when to end an arc. We don't need, as much as I love Rob Downey Jr., we don't need to see him again. Just like end the arc and let's move on.
But some people are not ready for that.
They're following the comics, innit? So maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
So I talk about Captain America like specifically, but in general, in terms of the MCU films, we're not rating this one as one of the higher films now.
No. I thought it was...
But it's not one of the lower.
It's mid, isn't it? It's mid.
Yeah.
It's right in the middle. And also with all the like rubbish that we have been getting from the MCU, like it's just decent. It was
bearable.
watchable, basically.
Yeah, no, I agree. What are we saying in terms of the numbers?
Right, so it had a budget of 180 million, and obviously like we've had some budgets for season 2 being like 200 million for Joker 2, Deadpool was 200 million, Gladiator 2 was 210 million, so 180 million really and truly isn't too bad. And even with like the rest of the MCU, Ant-Man was 330 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Marvels was 307 million.
As in their budget or what?
Their budget.
Okay, yeah.
So in terms of like budgets, it actually quite cheap if you ask me. I don't have 180 million, but you know. And then as of today, when I took these figures, it was box office. It made 192.4 million, so it's made back what it spent, which hasn't been happening for. I think the Marvels didn't make back what it spent. So so MCU's been on a proper decline. And 100 million in the United States and Canada, and 92.4 million worldwide, and then 51% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fair enough. I would say that 51%. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Fizz.
So
what other people saying?
Got 2 as usual, 1 good, 1 bad. This writer gave it an 8 out of 10. They titled it Decent Movie. They said, despite all the unwarranted negativity around this film, I highly enjoyed it. Anthony Mackie plays a great Captain America that Steve Rogers would definitely be proud of. I don't know. The action was filmed excellently, and the story was decent too. There was a number of unfinished story threads from previous Marvel films that the movie addressed, which I really enjoyed. Although the continuation of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this movie also plays as almost a direct sequel to The Incredible Hulk, which was very welcomed. Definitely one of the better Marvel films post-Endgame. Ignore all the negative noise about the movie. Go and enjoy it for yourselves.
That's a fair enough statement.
Yeah, I can't really...
I agree.
Maybe not for 8 though.
Yeah, I mean, not an 8, but I would agree in terms of like, it's probably one of the better Marvel films.
Yeah, and I agree, ignore the noise. Like, obviously we're at the end of the podcast now, but if I could tell anyone right at the beginning, just ignore the noise, just go into it, just enjoy yourself, because it's not that bad.
Give us a negative.
This one's 4 out of 10. They titled it A Flying Captain America. Blah. They said Captain America should be a superhuman like Bucky. Who wants to see a flying Captain America? Let Falcon be Falcon and Captain America be a superhuman, super soldier. Only went to see it because of Red Hulk. I think the others were too. MCU had a big mistake letting Sam Wilson be Captain America. I thought it was going to be Bucky was going to be Captain America, as he's a super soldier and he has the vibranium arm, which makes him more powerful than Steve Rogers. When Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, I was so hyped, and then it all went downhill from there.
So what did they give it?
They gave it a 4.
That was see how I agree with both of the comments, right? But I disagree with both of their ratings.
Yeah,
that was too high about the 8, and that's too low with the 4.
Yeah.
But exactly what they're saying in terms of let Falcon be Falcon. The movie would have been so cold. Falcon and a Brave New World. What's wrong with that?
It's Captain America. The Captain America just brings people back, innit?
And that also would have people wouldn't have gone to see that either. Okay, that's why they had to stuff.
Because think about it, if the series was that bad and not everyone was really watching it.
To be honest, you're right. They're probably selling it because it's Captain America. So you're thinking, okay, there's some relevance to what a brand that we know. If you just say Falcon, no one's seeing that.
And that's why they stuffed like Red Hulk in the trailer and the posters and stuff.
Because they wanted people to go.
Because they knew people weren't really going to see
him
an
for
Anthony
5 minutes.
Yeah, for like
5 minutes, you know.
But that rating is a bit harsh though. But I do agree with the comments. What were you rating it out of 10?
It was tough. When I first came out of the film, I don't know if it's because I was a bit excited, dopamine was going. I gave it like a 7.8. But I've had some time to think. I had some time so I was like, whoa. I had some time to think. And obviously talking to people about it and looking back on it, I said, you know what? I got to bump it down to like probably a 6.
Okay.
I got to give it a 6. No, 6.5. 6.5, yeah.
Okay. Same. Oh no, not the same at all. I never went as far as like 7.8, but I came out, I was like, you know what? I had a good time. I thought it was all right. And then I think the more I thought about it, I don't think this is a bad rating, but 6.8.
Yeah, like
I don't think that's too bad.
Around the 6, isn't it?
To be honest, I agree with that. So I've gone, I say I agree with that, I'm lying. I've literally just gone a flat score of like 6.
Okay, no, that's fair to be honest. Like, I don't feel like this.
I normally give my points, but it's a flat score of 6, which gives us.
Yeah, this one couldn't be higher than 7. In my opinion, like maybe if the last scene was really lit between Hulk and Captain America, then maybe it would have got the 7. That's why it would have got the 7, but because of that flop at the end, nah, man.
overall, that gives us a rating of 6.4, which is the first time in Movie Club UK history a rating has fallen into the 6 category. All our ratings have either been 7 or higher.
Even the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman was 5.7.
Oh, okay, right, go on.
Yeah.
Oh,
was gonna
6.
say.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
6.
6,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And that's funny to think about it because, like I said, all the other films have either been higher or lower. This is the first film where I think it's connecting with our actual feelings. It wasn't that bad. It was decent. And I think this rating reflects it being decent. And when we put it amongst the other films that we've done, we can't say it's one of the lower films and we can't say it's one of the higher films. So it literally falls right in that category. So it sounds about right. But 6.4 leaves this movie in, goddamn, 15th place.
Oh.
15th place out of 19. The actual movie ratings will be on the screen for you guys to see. I'm not going to go through them all, but I'll just say the highlights. Obviously, Dune Part 2 is first at 9.3. We have, let's pick the halfway point, Challengers in 10 at 7.3. And we have Boogeyman in 19 at 5.7. For this season, it will be 7th place this season, 7 out of 9. Again, highlights, Dune Part 2 was from this season. Gladiator at 7 was from this season. And now this film, Captain America and the Brave New World at 6.4 at 7th place.
Do you know what? That's completely fair.
Yeah.
Like, it that makes so much sense.
It does to me as well.
Yeah.
It does to me. I'm literally happy to give it that rating. Not a bad film, but there's much more that could have been done. But ignore the noise like everyone's been saying.
Just so you know, Thunderbolts is the next Marvel film that comes out in I think that's May times. It comes out 2nd of May.
We ain't doing it.
Don't listen to this guy. 2nd of May, innit?
They got me, but they ain't got me that bad. I don't know what.
It's Thunderbolts, and then it's Fantastic Four.
We've got him
we'll
for
be back for
Fantastic
Fantastic Four.
Someone actually said a comment, which is that Marvel fans and like superhero movie fans in general prefer a terrible movie to a mid movie.
Really?
Yeah.
So they can discuss it.
Just in general, like a mid movie is just the worst thing now. Like maybe in like 2025, the era that we're in, the mid movie is just the worst thing. But yeah, a terrible
and I think
movie,
that's why this movie
it.
got the score that it got compared to all of our other ratings.
Yeah.
We've either gone really high or really low. This is our first recognizable like mid film because it was mid, but we don't like that. We like the ones that we can tear down and we like the ones that we can actually praise. So
yeah,
there you have it. But that's us on season 1, episode 9. I said season 1, season 2, sorry, episode 9.
I was going back in time, you know, Dr. Ozzy.
Yeah, catch us very soon. I'm not sure what we're going to review. He mentioned Thunderbolts.
That's going to be in May though, man. Yeah, you gotta
we'll
worry
have
about
something
that.
coming up. Definitely, Ash, put something on the Instagram, put something on Twitter Fizz, see what the people are feeling, and we'll be back soon. Thank you. Catch you guys later.
bye.
Peace.